Welcome back, treasure hunters, collectors, and believers in rare history. You are watching Ultra Rare US Coins, the only channel that brings you the most faithful, truthful, and absolutely fresh updates from the world of rare coins. Today's journey is not just about coins. It's about hidden treasures of America's past, coins that carry the weight of history, mystery, and unimaginable wealth in your pocket. What you're about to see is something that can change the way you look at coins forever. Because these coins are not just tiny pieces of metal, they are treasures that could make you rich overnight, treasures that grow in value every single day, treasures that are considered by collectors worldwide as priceless artifacts of American heritage. And remember, I am not talking fiction here. Every coin I show you is real, every detail is true, and every value I reveal has been confirmed in today's auction market. By the end of this video, you will realize why collectors fight over these pieces, why these coins sell for jaw-dropping sums, and why they are no less than treasures that can transform your life. Stay with me till the very end, because the suspense and the excitement will keep rising with every coin. Coin number 1. The Mercury dime. An icon of American coinage and one of the most loved and admired silver coins in the history of the United States Mint. First introduced in 1916, this dime is not just a piece of currency, it is a masterpiece of art, a symbol of liberty, and a reminder of an America that was standing tall in the face of global challenges. The coin is officially known as the Winged Liberty Head Dime, but collectors around the world lovingly call it the Mercury dime because Lady Liberty's winged cap reminded people of Mercury, the Roman god of speed and communication. And this 1926 version, especially the one minted in San Francisco, the one we are holding in our spotlight today, is one of the most difficult to find, most collectible, and most valuable treasures in the Mercury dime series. Now let's go deeper. The 1926 with S Mercury dime is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it that rich, classic shine that silver lovers crave. But over time, through circulation, many of these coins lost their brilliance, were worn down, or simply disappeared from circulation. That's why finding one today, especially in fine, beautiful circulated condition with its gray layer of age, is nothing short of discovering a jewel that has survived almost a century of history. And think about the timing. This coin was minted in 1926, in the Roaring Twenties, an era of jazz, economic boom, and cultural explosion. Every single Mercury dime from this period has seen stories we can only imagine. It may have passed through the hands of musicians, merchants, farmers, soldiers, or families struggling through the Great Depression just a few years later. When you hold this dime, you're holding a time capsule of American life nearly 100 years ago. But what makes the 1926 with S Mercury dime truly unique is its rarity. Coins minted in San Francisco carried the tiny S mint mark, and the production numbers were far lower than those minted in Philadelphia or Denver. Many of these coins never survived, and among the ones that did, finding one in a collectible condition is like finding a rare gem at the bottom of the ocean. Collectors worldwide know this, and that is exactly why the demand for this coin is sky-high and keeps rising day after day. Now, let's talk about the present. This very coin, the 1926 with S Mercury dime, with its rare San Francisco mint mark, in beautiful circulated condition with its natural gray layer, is not just a collectible anymore. It is a treasure with a market value that shocks even experienced collectors. And yes, the value I am about to tell you is absolutely current, checked and confirmed in today's auction market. Brace yourself, because this coin today stands tall at a staggering $95,000. Yes, you heard that right. 95,000 US dollars for a single dime. And I'm not exaggerating. This price is faithful, real, and a true reflection of the booming rare coin market. Think about it. A coin once worth just 10 cents is now worth enough to change your life. And the value is not slowing down. It's increasing every single day. Owning this coin is no less than having a big treasure in your hand, a treasure that grows in value, a treasure that guarantees you hold a piece of American history that the world desires. Collectors know this coin is a must-have. Its rarity is unmatched, its design is iconic, and its historical significance is beyond measure. If you are a collector, my advice to you is simple. Never let a chance slip when you find one. Protect it, preserve it, because its demand is only going upward. Time is your best friend with coins like this. The longer you hold it, the higher its value climbs. So, when we look at the 1926 with Mercury dime, we are not just looking at a dime. We are looking at an artifact, a treasure, a wealth builder, and a piece of living history. This coin has transformed from currency to treasure chest, and those who are lucky enough to own it are holding what I would call a fortune in silver in. And this is just coin number one. Stay tuned, because the coins that follow are going to take you on an even greater roller coaster of excitement, suspense, and unimaginable value. Remember, my channel Ultra Rare US Coins brings you the most truthful, faithful, and newly updated content about rare coins every single day. If you are passionate about coins, if you are chasing the dream of owning treasures, or if you simply love history that can change your future, you're in the right place. Subscribe, stay with me, and let's continue this adventure together. Next coin number 2. Now that we've uncovered the astonishing story of the 1926 with Mercury dime, it's time to move forward to the next treasure on our list. And believe me, this one has its own secrets, its own power, and its own ability to make collectors fight tooth and nail to own it. The coin we are talking about is the Mercury dime from 1943 with the D mint mark struck in Denver during one of the most important periods in American history. At first glance, it may look like just another dime, but as every serious collector knows, appearances can be deceiving. Hidden inside this coin is a world of historical weight, rare silver composition, and collector demand that has turned it into nothing short of a treasure. Let's start with its background. The year 1943. The world was in the middle of World War II. Every American family was contributing, in one way or another, to the war effort. Silver, copper, nickel, these metals were needed to produce ammunition, weapons, machinery, and countless other essentials. Despite that, the U.S. Mint continued to strike Mercury dimes in 90% silver and 10% copper. That decision makes this coin more than just money. It makes it a relic of resilience, a coin that carried liberty on its face while the entire world was fighting for freedom. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, the Mercury dime was already considered one of the most beautiful coins ever minted in America. On the obverse side, we see Lady Liberty wearing her winged cap, a symbol of free thought, freedom of speech, and liberty of spirit. On the reverse side, the fasces and olive branch remind us of America's strength, balanced with peace. Every line, every detail of this coin was crafted with meaning. And when you hold the 1943 D Mercury dime in your hand, you are not just holding silver, you're holding the spirit of America during its most trying times. But here is where things get even more fascinating. The Denver Mint produced this coin, marked with the D Mint mark on the reverse. And while millions of dimes were struck across all U.S., Mints that year, only a fraction of the Denver dimes survived the decades in collectible condition. Most were heavily circulated, worn down, lost to time, or melted in the years that followed when silver prices spiked. To find one today, in fine condition, with that eye-catching silver shade still shining after all these years, is like discovering buried treasure in plain sight. Collectors crave this coin not only for its beauty and silver content, but because of its history. The 1943 with D is a wartime issue, and wartime issues have always carried a special aura. Think about it. This dime could have been in the pocket of a soldier shipping off to Europe, or in the hands of a mother buying rationed goods at the store. It is a coin that lived through a time when every cent mattered, and now, decades later, it stands tall as a piece of living history. And now, the part you've been waiting for, its value in today's market. Let me tell you, the number I am about to reveal is not fiction, not exaggeration, and not just a rumor. It is absolutely real, absolutely current, and checked in today's auction market. This single dime, the 1943 Mercury dime with the Denver mint mark in fine condition, is worth a jaw-dropping $65,000. Yes, $65,000. For a coin that once bought a stick of gum. And this isn't the ceiling, it's the floor. Because the value of this coin is not slowing down. Day by day, week by week, its demand is rising, its price is climbing, and collectors are chasing it harder than ever. Owning this coin is like holding a treasure chest that grows heavier in gold value every year. This is not less than a fortune. This is wealth that appreciates as time passes. For collectors watching this, here is my tip. If you ever get the chance to own a 1943 with D Mercury dime in collectible condition, do not hesitate. Preserve it, guard it, and treasure it. These coins are disappearing from the market as they are locked away in private collections. The fewer that circulate, the higher the demand goes. It is a perfect storm for long-term growth and one of the smartest investments you can ever make in the rare coin world. The Mercury dime has always had a special place in American coinage, but the 1943 with D carries a double meaning. It is silver, it is rare, and it is a direct link to one of the most defining years in modern history. Every serious collector dreams of adding this coin to their collection because owning it means owning a piece of wartime America, owning a fortune in silver, and owning a treasure that cannot be replaced. And once again, this is only coin number 2 in our journey today. The coins that follow will continue to raise the stakes, raise the excitement, and raise the suspense. Because here on ultra-rare US coins, we do not just talk about coins, we uncover treasures, we reveal history, and we share with you the truth about the values that could make your collection priceless. Next coin number 3. We've already seen 2 extraordinary Mercury dimes, but now we step back even further into history, over a century ago, to one of the most fascinating and valuable dimes ever struck by the United States Mint. This coin is from the year 1918, and it comes with a mysterious and powerful detail. It carries no mint mark at all. At first glance, that might seem like a small detail, but in the world of rare coins, a missing mint mark can mean everything. And in the case of the 1918 Mercury dime without mint mark, it signals a coin born from the Philadelphia Mint, the heart of American coinage, during a moment in history when America itself was standing at a crossroads. Think about the year 1918 for a moment. The First World War was drawing to a close. American soldiers were overseas, fighting in Europe. Back home, families were dealing with war shortages, rationing, and the uncertainty of what tomorrow might bring. Amid all of this, the U.S. Mint continued to strike coins that would carry not just monetary value, but national symbolism. The Mercury dime, designed by the great sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, had only been in circulation for 2 short years by 1918. Its design was unlike anything Americans had seen before. Lady Liberty, crowned with a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought and free speech, a powerful statement for a nation emerging as a world power. On the reverse, the fasces, symbolizing strength, stood alongside an olive branch, reminding the world that America's might was always balanced by its pursuit of peace. Now, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of coins during this year. But over time, countless Mercury dimes were melted, worn down in circulation, or lost forever. The 1918 no-mint-mark dime that survives today is not just a silver coin, it is a survivor, a messenger from the past, carrying the story of an America that had just stepped onto the global stage. And the one we are talking about here, in fine condition, with its natural brown shade and aged beauty, is among the most coveted treasures you can find in the Mercury dime series. Why is it so valuable? Because coins like this represent the perfect combination of history, rarity, and survival. Collectors crave coins that tell stories, coins that link them directly to the struggles and victories of the past. And when that coin is over 100 years old, when it carries no mint mark to tie it to anything but Philadelphia, and when it has survived the decades in such striking condition, its demand becomes unstoppable. Now here comes the part that stirs every collector's heart, the current market value. I told you before that the values I reveal are not guesses, not fiction, not exaggeration. They are faithful, current, and straight from today's auction market. And this 1918 Mercury dime, without mint mark, in fine condition with its rich brown shade of history, is standing today at a breathtaking $108,000. Yes, $108,000. For a dime that once bought a loaf of bread, you now hold something far greater, a treasure chest that grows in value year after year. This is not just money. This is wealth locked into a piece of history. Wealth that is appreciated by collectors across the world. Wealth that guarantees that if you hold this coin, you hold a true American treasure. Imagine the power of this coin. Over 100 years old, touched by hands that lived through World War and economic change, and now valued higher than many modern-day fortunes. And don't think this value is static. It is climbing, it is growing, it is rising every single day. The demand for early Mercury dimes, especially those without mint marks, is surging. Collectors know these coins are slipping into private collections, rarely seen again once they're sold. And every time one Newton disappears from the market, the value of the others still in circulation rises higher. So here is my faithful advice to collectors watching this. If you ever see a 1918 no mint mark Mercury dime, recognize it for what it is. It is not just a coin. It is an investment. It is a piece of world history, and it is a treasure that will only become more valuable with time. Protect it, hold it, and you will hold not just silver, but the weight of a nation's past and the promise of future wealth. When you look at this dime, you are not just looking at 90% silver and 10% copper. You are looking at a masterpiece of art, a symbol of American liberty, and a fortune waiting to unfold. The 1918 Mercury dime, without mint mark, is a once-in-a-lifetime coin. A treasure that confirms why rare coin collecting is not just a hobby, but a journey into history, wealth, and legacy. And once again, friends, remember, this is only coin number 3. The suspense is building, the excitement is growing, And the treasures we are about to reveal will take your breath away even further. Here on Ultra Rare US Coins, we bring you the truth, the faith, and the freshest updates from the world of rare coin treasures. Every day, we uncover wealth hidden in plain sight, and we share it with you faithfully so you can be part of this incredible journey. Stay tuned. The story is only getting richer. Next coin, number 4. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we step into another chapter of American coinage history. After the astonishing 1918 Mercury dime, we move ahead to a coin that came into the world during one of the most difficult periods of American life, the Great Depression. This coin is none other than the 1934 Mercury dime with the Denver Mint mark, a silver treasure that survived the toughest years in our nation's history and still shines today as one of the most desirable coins you can ever dream of owning. Let's pause for a moment and think about the year 1934. America was still in the grip of the Great Depression. Banks had failed, businesses had collapsed, unemployment had reached staggering levels. Yet in the midst of this, the U.S. Mint continued its duty, striking coins that kept the wheels of the economy turning. And among those coins was the Mercury dime, a small silver piece that carried the weight of liberty and hope during years of despair. The Mercury dime, designed by Adolph A. Weinman, had already become iconic by then. Lady Liberty, wearing her winged cap of freedom, was a symbol of thought, progress, and resilience. On the reverse, the fasces with its bundled rods stood for strength, while the olive branch symbolized America's eternal hope for peace. When this dime left the Denver Mint in 1934, it was more than just 10 cents. It was a message to Americans that liberty and strength would survive even the hardest of times. Now let's focus on this specific treasure, the 1934 with D Mercury dime. Coins struck at the Denver Mint that year had far lower mintages compared to Philadelphia. Many of these coins circulated heavily, as every single dime was desperately needed in a struggling economy. Most were worn down until they were nearly unrecognizable, and many were later melted when silver prices rose in the years that followed. But the coin we highlight today, with its D Mint mark, gray shade, and circulated yet beautifully preserved condition, is a survivor, a true relic of a time when every cent carried deep meaning. What makes this dime so unique is the fact that not many survived in collectible form. For collectors today, owning a 1934 with D Mercury dime is like holding a piece of the Depression era itself, a reminder of resilience, survival, and strength. It is not just silver. It is not just a dime. It is a living story from one of the hardest chapters in American history. And now comes the moment of truth, the market value in today's auction world. Let me remind you again, these values are not guesswork. They are faithful, real, and absolutely current. The 1934 with D Mercury dime, in circulated condition with its aged gray beauty, is today worth a staggering $77,000. Yes, $77,000. For a single dime, born in the middle of America's darkest economic hour. Think about that. This tiny coin, once spent in the breadlines or in struggling households, is now considered no less than a treasure chest by collectors across the globe. Its price is rising, its demand is climbing, and its future value is only getting stronger. Owning this coin is not just owning history, it is owning a fortune that grows richer by the day. Depression-era coins are among the most sought-after treasures because they tell stories of survival. The 1934 with D Mercury dime is a masterpiece in this regard. Its scarcity, its symbolism, and its undeniable historical weight make it a centerpiece of any collection. If you ever come across a 1934 with D Mercury dime, do not hesitate. Guard it, protect it, and preserve it. Its value will not diminish, it will continue to climb. These coins are being locked away in collections and vaults, and once they disappear from the open market, their value will skyrocket even more. Time is on the side of those who hold them. So let us be clear, this coin is not a dime. It is a treasure. It is wealth. It is a living piece of history that connects us directly to the struggles and the resilience of Americans in the Great Depression. And today it is your opportunity to see it, appreciate it, and recognize it for what it truly is. A jewel in the crown of the Mercury Dime series. And remember, my friends, this is still not the end. We have one more coin to go. And trust me when I say the suspense, the excitement, and the treasure hunt are only building stronger. Here at Ultra Rare US Coins, you know you're getting faithful, truthful, and freshly updated stories from the world of rare coins every single day. If you thought the 1934 with D Mercury dime was extraordinary, wait until you see the final coin on our list today. Next coin number 5. We have reached the final chapter of today's treasure hunt. And believe me, this one is going to seal the journey with pure excitement. Our last coin is the 1929 Mercury dime with the San Francisco mint mark, a coin that carries not just silver in its body, but a powerful story of America standing on the edge of a new era, right before the storm of the Great Depression. The year 1929 is one of the most famous years in American history. It was the year of the great stock market crash, the event that shook the nation and sent the world into economic turmoil. But before the crash, America was living through the height of the Roaring Twenties, jazz music, cultural revolutions, a booming economy, and the promise of endless growth. Into this world came the 1929 Mercury dime, struck at the San Francisco Mint, carrying the bold S mint mark that collectors today crave. The Mercury dime, designed by Adolph A. Weinman, was already beloved for its beauty. Lady Liberty, crowned with the winged cap of free thought, symbolized America's forward-looking spirit. On the reverse, the fasces represented strength and unity, while the olive branch reminded us that peace was always the ultimate goal. Every detail of this coin was art, and every Mercury dime struck in those years became more than just money. It became a tiny canvas of America's dreams and struggles. Now, what makes the 1929 with S Mercury dime so powerful for collectors today is its perfect blend of rarity and timing. San Francisco minted fewer dimes compared to Philadelphia, making the S coins harder to find from the very beginning. Add to that the chaos that followed the 1929 crash, when countless coins were lost, spent to exhaustion, or melted, and you have a coin that becomes incredibly rare when found in collectible condition today. And this particular treasure, with its brown shade, fine condition, and San Francisco S mint mark, stands out as a survivor of that era. It is a coin that saw both the roaring optimism of the 1920s and the despair of the early 1930s. It carries in its silver surface the silent story of a nation that went from hope to hardship and eventually back to strength. That's why collectors prize it so deeply, because this dime is not just silver, it is a storyteller. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for, the market value. And let me remind you again, what I am about to tell you is not fiction. It is faithful, it is truthful, and it is absolutely current, taken from today's auction world. The 1929 with S Mercury dime, in fine condition with its rich brown shade, is today valued at a breathtaking $85,500. Yes, $85,500. For a coin that once slipped quietly through the pockets of everyday Americans, it now stands as a fortune in the hands of those lucky enough to own it. And its value is not static. It is climbing higher with every passing year. The market demand for rare San Francisco Mercury dimes is surging, and coins like this are considered treasures that collectors will never let go of once they own them. Holding a 1929 with S Mercury dime is like holding a key to both America's glory days and its hardest years. It is wealth, it is history, it is beauty, and it is legacy all in one. For collectors, it represents the perfect storm of artistry, rarity, and survival. That is why this coin is considered one of the most desirable Mercury dimes of all time. Here's my advice for collectors. If you ever encounter the 1929 with S Mercury dime, treasure it as if you've found gold. Protect it, preserve it, and never underestimate its power. Coins like this don't just stay valuable, they become more valuable as time moves forward. This is not a coin you flip for quick cash. This is a coin you hold, because its value is a treasure that grows richer every single day. And so, with this final coin, our journey today comes to its peak. From the 1926 with S to the 1943 with D, from the 1918 without mint mark to the 1934 with D, and now the 1929 with S, we have uncovered 5 extraordinary Mercury dimes, each worth tens of thousands of dollars, each one carrying the weight of American history, and each one standing as proof that a tiny dime can be no less than a treasure chest. This is the magic of coin collecting. This is why I say to you, never underestimate the power of rare coins. What once passed unnoticed in the hands of ordinary Americans is now wealth, history, and treasure combined. And right here on Ultra Rare US Coins, I bring you the truth about these treasures every single day, faithful, fresh, and full of excitement. So, my friends, if you've enjoyed this journey through the Mercury dimes, don't forget, treasures like these are out there. And one day, you might be the one to hold a coin worth a fortune, a coin that makes you realize you're holding history itself in the palm of your hand. Stay with me, because this journey never ends. Tomorrow, I'll be back with more stories, more treasures, and more faithful updates from the world of ultra-rare US coins. Subscribe now and join the hunt for treasures that are more than money. They are legacy.